Yo, what's good, guys? We are back at it again with another MLB The Show video for you guys, and today I have a rather highly requested video. Also a little bit of a rehashed video from previous years, but we have so many new people here that I want to thank you guys for supporting, liking, subscribing to the channel, that I feel like this needs to be shown again as a way to steadily improve. People always love to ask, what is the quickest way to get good at the game? And you can't really cheat the grind, but it's reps, right? And the fastest way you can possibly get reps accurate to your difficulty is custom practice, right? Playing against a CPU only takes you so far, no matter what difficulty you're on. And then playing against low skilled players only takes you so far. So custom practice is where you're going to want to be if you want focused reps. Or if you just want to warm up, custom practice is a great way to warm up, and this is one of the most important modes in the game if you are looking to become more competitive. Real quick, I am going to put a little spin on it. Last year, I did not do this. This year, I did decide to go this route. If you come over to Vaults, go over to Rosters. Right now, I think it's on like the 5th page or something. Yeah, you'll see I am on the 6th page right now. But if you want to hit X and just search for it, it's called Custom Prac. And you'll see it's from CJ12K, which is my gamer tag, and, you know, the YouTube. And you can see 19 downloads at the moment, rating, whatever. So I'm going to walk you guys through how you can use that roster and why you're going to want that roster. Now, you may have to edit it. It's not accurate for everybody. I have it saved as DD team for me because that's what it is for me. If we come over to roster control and I go to my favorite team, you will see that this is my Diamond Dynasty roster. Larry Walker changed Mike Trout to basically be Nico Goodrum. Then we got Rollins, Seager, Babe, Caratini when he was supercharged, Carlos, Casty, who has a different swing than he does in DD, so it's not super accurate, but as far as I know, there's no way to go find out which swing that other Castellanos has. And then Ian Happ, right? So we have my full DD roster. If you wanted to add other players, you could. And then on the Orioles, I have some of the best pitchers in the game. And you may be thinking to yourself, when I showed that off, you don't have Randy, you don't have John. How can you say you had the best pitchers? We will get into that here in a second. So you're going to want to pick your first team, your favorite team first, because that's what it defaults to when you scroll over. And then the team you don't want to control, you will set second, and that will be the Orioles. Just because that's the team I decided to put them all on. I would recommend either picking the stadium that you play at on the regular, or just picking one with a really solid batter's eye. Any minor league park usually has a really good batter's eye. I'm just more or less comfortable at Ship It because that's where I've played for years. So we will load in here, and I will show you guys how you can utilize this roster to get better at the game. There's also smaller things, like you can always go in the option sliders and crank up the sliders to make the pitches seem faster. It doesn't actually change the timing windows, but will make them seem faster, so it kind of helps speed up your mental processes. But I feel like it's not really that useful. If you cannot hit comfortably on Legend without the sliders turned up, I probably would not worry about turning up the sliders, because then you're just gonna hop in online play and you're gonna be early on everything. Another point that I want to mention is if you are going to use custom practice as a way to warm up, I would probably warm up on the highest possible difficulty. So if you're an 840 rated player, I would probably warm up on Legend because there's a chance that you end up on Legend. But you know, if you're rated 400, you should not be warming up on the Hall of Fame. You should probably not be you should definitely not be warming up on Legend, because you aren't going to be on those difficulties. And if you do get comfortable in custom practice on those difficulties, you are going to be so early on everything on All-Star. You're going to pull off of every cutter, pull off of every changeup, pull off of every slider. You're going to hit a ton of pop-ups and weak contact to the left fielder, and it's just not going to be a good time. So try to warm up on the difficulty that you have a chance of playing on, right? If you're 620 rated, maybe you would want to warm up on the Hall of Fame. All right, so you can see I'm on Legend, but the main part of this is you can see we have Yohan Duran pitching, but if you look at his pitch mixes, you will see those are not his DD pitches. And those of you that are very keen with your eyes will also notice that he is a lefty, and that's because he is Randy Johnson. He has Randy's exact same windup. He has more or less Randy's exact same stats. The only difference is he's not 6'11", because you can't change the appearance of MLB players. But the reason this has to happen is because they do not give legend cards outlier for some reason in reg rosters. Only current players get outlier, and Yohan Duran is one of the only players in the game with double outlier. Not too sure why I did that on Randy. I guess his slider has outlier, can't hurt. But other than him, we have Bobby Miller and Shohei Ohtani, who are pretty much the consensus hardest players to hit on higher difficulties. For me personally, Ohtani's not too tough, but this Bobby Miller is made to replicate John Donaldson, and you're going to see that he just throws absolute filth. You can see that the PCI size is relatively accurate to what you'll see in Diamond Dynasty. John does not have the best hits through 9, but you know, he's still gross just because of the delivery. And obviously this roster will be even more prevalent if these cards do get 99s in the future and come back into the meta. So you can see there, forkball. This is also great for you know, if you wanted to practice one specific part of John Donaldson, right? If you have problems differentiating the slider and the inside four seam, you know, you can come here and do this, and now he will only throw four seams and only throw you inside sliders. Now it's not super customized, like I can't tell him to only throw the four seams for strikes and only throw the sliders inside, like most people online will pitch with them. But you know, we have to make do with what we have. Another common one that you may see is forkball and four seam. And most of the time people are throwing these in these areas. They're throwing you the low four seam to trick your eye and make you want to swing at the forkball when they put it way below the zone. So that's a great way to work that tunnel. If you are a very high level player and you play against John on the regular, you may be familiar with this pitch. The outside four seam worked into like an outside slider to try to steal a strike. That would be a good tunnel to work on. But there is a ton of ways you can use this roster to help you out the game, right? I've seen multiple comments in the last few videos where I really struggle against so-and-so. Can you help me out against him? Any way I can get better against him? This is pretty much it. This is how you get better. You sit, you grind in custom practice, you know, maybe 10, 15 minutes, even if you don't really plan on playing online that day. Just getting some reps in, becoming more comfortable against these prospective pitchers can help you kind of take your game to the next level and not struggle as much when you get on those higher difficulties. You can see right there, I dropped under it. Anytime you're getting like comfortable, used to a new difficulty, it's never a bad idea. Just tell them to throw four seam right down the middle and get to a spot where you can pretty much perfect this every single time, because that is going to be your most common timing window on any difficulty. If you're making the jump from All-Star to Hall of Fame to Legend, you got to be able to hit that pitch. If there's any pitch you need to be able to hit, is a four seam slash some off speed right down the middle. So this is going to give you kind of a baseline for your timing window. And obviously if he threw the four seam a little more inside, you'd have to be earlier. If he threw it a little more outside, you'd have to be a little bit later. And so this just kind of helps work your timing. It'll help kind of work out kinks with your batters. Like, you know, I talked in the timing video about learning your batter swings. This is a great way to do it. Just sit up here. You're getting the exact same pitch more or less every time. It's a great way to work out batter swings. You can see we're just late right there. So if we use Babe's cues a little better here, you'll see we over adjusted a little bit earlier. You don't want to just take a team into custom practice or not custom practice, like Conquest or mini seasons, and just grind a ton of at-bats to get more comfortable with certain player swings. This is a great way to do it. You can see I'm not necessarily the greatest Babe player in the world, but that was basically perfect timing, just a little bit too far under it with the PCI placement. Then we got like Nick, right? A lot of people seem to struggle with Nick Castellanos. I'm kind of one of them, kind of not. He either goes 4 for 4 with 4 home runs, or he doesn't have a great game for me. So some reps here would probably be decent, although his swing, it's a little bit different than it is in Diamond Dynasty. You can see right there, perfect timing with him. Trout for me is meant to emulate Nico Goodrum, who I've been struggling with a little bit. You see very quick swing there. But it's just a great way to get reps in, right? And if you struggle with any other pitchers, you can throw any pitcher in here. Like if you struggle with Corbin Burns, you can throw him in here. If you struggle with Rob Dibble, John Franco, some of those guys that are a little trickier. Eckersley, right? A lot of people at high ranks use Eckersley just because he's kind of weird, a little unpredictable. Raleigh Fingers, right? There's a lot of good pitchers that you can get some really good reps off of in custom practice. You'll just have to kind of experiment with the rosters, move them around yourself, add them, right? If you don't want to do the Tigers, you could do the roster yourself, or you could download my roster and resave it and put it on a different team. Or you could change your favorite team to Tigers. Hey, we are always taking applicants. But yeah, if you go over to roster control, this is how you would edit stats of players and stuff. And then if you actually want to move them, you just have to move them, you know, 1 for 1 through trades. This way, like say you struggled against really not too many current pitchers that have great, okay, DeGrom, right? Say you struggle against the new DeGrom that came out, you could easily just throw him on the roster here, and then we will have to go fix those two teams' rotations. You would go over to edit player. I don't think he actually has outlier, so this is not the best 1 for 1 example, because like I said, they don't give outlier to like anybody. Yeah, you can see break outlier, no actual outlier. So your best case would probably be go find some bronze pitcher with outlier and turn them into DeGrom. But you would come over to pitch types. Instead of a 2-seam, you would give him a sinker. And then if you wanted the exact breaks and stuff, Showzone has that, or you can just kind of eyeball it. Something like that, probably. So yeah, that's how you would do it. That's how you would add certain players. You would save it. Anytime you restart your game, you will have to go reload these rosters. But this is a great way to just take focused reps, or if you are looking to warm up before hopping in ranked, this is a great way to do it. Till next time, guys. Peace.